What's going on, all my otakus out there? It's Venomousfatman here, the epic one. Time for a brand new OTGT video review for all of you guys out there. This time I'm talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. That's on the PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, as well as also for PC, if you guys have a PC. So, check it out. We're going to get right into the review. So, what's the first things first about Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2? Okay? If you haven't played Episode 1 yet, or you were thinking about picking up Episode 2, but if you were wondering if you had to play Episode 1 to get what was going on, that's not the case. It could be its own little standalone game. However, it is preferable that you do pick up Episode 1 before you pick up Episode 2, solely because they have this kind of connectivity type of feature for Sonic 4 Episode 2. It's a real big throwback to the kind of the days of the Sega Genesis between Sonic 3 and also Sonic and Knuckles, that if you connected the two games, you got extra content on top of what you already got with Sonic and Knuckles. With this one being the case, if you bought Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, and then now you buy Episode 2, you actually get a brand new episode that, you get to replay all the levels from Sonic 4 Episode 1 as Metal Sonic. It's called Episode Metal, which is kind of like, its own little separate thing away from the original story of Sonic 4 Episode 2. It kind of ties things together a little bit, but you're playing the game through the perspective of Metal Sonic, which is pretty cool, but I'll get to that later. So, Episode 2. How good is Episode 2? Episode 2, again, they fixed a lot of the problems from Episode 1 into Episode 2. A lot of the little bugs, glitches, kind of like disorienting things that a lot of people found in Episode 1. A lot of those kind of like annoyances are gone now, and things are a little bit much more tweaked, a little bit better. There is a sense of speed. I know I was reading a lot of reviews all over the place for this game, and people were complaining about how it's a very sluggish Sonic game. With that being said, you got to understand, this is a kind of, instead of being a 2D sprite-based Sonic game, this is a 3D-based sprite game for Sonic the Hedgehog game, meaning that it's done in the 2D plane, and from the 2D perspective, and it plays like any other Sonic game, but it's done with 3D models. So it's going to look sluggish at first, but once you start playing and you actually start getting Sonic up to speed during like different ramps and different areas of the levels and such, you're going to feel the sense of speed that's there. Okay, don't believe a lot of the people that are going around saying like this, it's completely absent and that Sonic feels like sluggish things ever felt before. That is definitely not the case. He is fast, he is Sonic, you get that sense of speed. On top of that, one of the cool things and one of the newest things from Episode 1 into 2 is that now you have, Sonic's partner Tails that actually is along with you for the ride. On top of that, you also get some multiplayer with this. With Sonic and Tails, they actually have these co-op team moves that they could do, which do a variety of different things, from being able to do one giant big spin dash instead of the two of them going separately to smash through certain walls and move at certain speeds and stuff. You'd be able to fly with Tails, and also you'd be able to kind of, propel underwater with Tails, when you're trying to get through certain sections underwater that are really fast and such. On top of that, you'll be able to play in multiplayer, local or over the internet, which, each player chooses a specific role, either Sonic or Tails like that, and you go through all the levels together. One thing that I will say that it is a little bit of an annoyance, when you're playing through multiplayer, one of the kind of cheap and broken things of the game is that if the main person that, has the account and actually owns the game like that is Tails, and they decide to be Tails, you could actually just fly around, way ahead of your your partner, and Sonic will kind of, just automatically just teleport to where you're at, so that way the two don't get separated or you don't get locked up in a specific, area or screen. And what happens is he kind of just spins around, just flying around Tails, and he can just fly around the level like that at his will. On top of that, you'll be able to actually get through a lot of the boss fights a lot easier than what you normally could by doing that kind of, little exploit, because like in the older games, like in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and, etc., Tails is actually able to hit the bosses, hit Dr. Robotnik, with his tail when he's actually flying around. It actually counts as a hit rather than just jumping like what Sonic would normally do. So, with that being said, a lot of the big challenging bosses and stuff could be, really decreased in difficulty by using that exploit, if you're playing multiplayer, for that matter. If you're playing single player, you're automatically going to play as Sonic, and it's obviously just going to play like normal. But that is one thing to note if you're playing either solo or multiplayer and you just want to get through the game at some point. There are Chaos Emeralds, there are special stages, very similar to Sonic 2. A lot of the stuff in this game is a real big throwback to Sonic 2. However, I will say one thing, Episode 2 does feel like an easier version than than Episode 1, because, or actually, no, if you really want to kind of describe it as far as special stages, they're a little bit easier, because in the original Sonic 2, You used to be able, it was kind of like, a 3D playing field when you're actually just going straight forward. You have to collect a certain number of rings in order to get the Chaos Emeralds and such. And it's a lot easier because I feel like there's more rings on the track when you're actually going through and trying to collect the Chaos Emeralds. The actual gameplay itself of Sonic 4 Episode 2 is actually a lot more harder than it was in Episode 1 because of all the different changes and stuff that they did, and also the inclusion of Tails kind of mixes things up a bit, and you actually have to be able to think on your feet when you're moving fast through the levels and such, which is pretty cool. The bosses are interesting. They're, some of them are a little bit of throwbacks to past Sonic games, but they're vastly different this time around. It's not like in Episode 1 where pretty much a lot of the boss fights that you had with Dr. Robotnik were taken from other games and they were, really, kind of almost carbon copies of them. This isn't the case this time. They're a little bit much more epic in scale. You actually have to kind of, change up a little bit. You actually do fight Metal Sonic this time around, since Metal Sonic, is, back in the actual mix and things. You actually have a race with him towards the end, which I think is a little bit cheap because they don't kind of explain how you're supposed to actually approach the boss fight. You have to go through it through trial and error, and when you finally do figure out what you have to do and stuff, it makes it vastly easier like that. But I won't spoil it for you guys. I'll let you guys check it out. However, getting to Episode Metal. Episode Metal, again, it's kind of like a replay of the Episode 1 levels playing as Metal Sonic. One of the things that is different is a lot of the sounds are changed. When he actually is speeding forward and actually moving forward through the level, you actually hear the sound of a jet engine, kind of very similar to how, like, when you're actually fighting him in the boss fights or if you're playing as Sonic and Tails, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little kind of like, extra and change, mixes things up a little bit. You feel like a different character. For the most part, most of his abilities and stuff is very similar to Sonic because, again, he's supposed to be like a carbon copy of Sonic with minor differences and such. Is it really worth actually, picking up Episode 1 if you're just getting Episode 2? I believe so, because you're going to get more out of your game besides just playing through single player and multiplayer, because single player and multiplayer of just Episode 2 is just, pretty much the same exact thing. You're going to get the same type of rewards, the same cutscenes and such like that. However, this brings me to my next point. Picking up Sonic 4 Episode 2 as a standalone, is it worth the money? To be honest with you, no. And the reason why I say that is because to really get the most out of it, you're going to have to pick up Episode 1 in order to unlock that extra episode with Metal Sonic. As a total package game, it's fun for a Sonic fan because by then, more than likely, that same person has already picked up Episode 1 is going to be getting that extra content. If you just pick it up alone like that, you're not going to get Episode Metal, and you're only just going to get that specific part of the game, all the way up leading with the Chaos Emeralds and stuff. So, if you want the maximum amount, kind of like, experience, then pick up Episode 1. If not, then don't even bother picking up Episode 2. As good as a game as it is, it's not terrible by any means. You're just going to get more value if you pick up Episode 1 and Episode 2. Episode 1 and 2, I believe, range around the $15 range. So in total for the entire experience right now, because they're saying this is like the last episode in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, that it's going to be roughly about $30 to get the full experience. Some people might find that a little bit questionable, and I can understand that. However, if you're a big Sonic fan and you love this type of game, you're going to really feel kind of at home and you're really going to get the most out of it. So that's just my opinion on the whole matter, guys. Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. If you had a blast playing it, if you picked up Episode 1, what are your thoughts on it? Did you play Episode Metal? Put it in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys again soon. So, I'm VFM, the Epic One. This has been a brand new OTGT video review of Sonic 4 Episode 2. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace out. Stay epic, everybody.